Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Tier 8 Soviet Premium Heavy Tank, the Object 252U Defender. So these tanks dropped today about 2 hours ago, and I've played a fair few games in them now to realise how they play and how to play them effectively. I have got mastery badges in both of them, although it is obviously early days and it's quite easy to get your ace tankers and stuff like that, but you will see from the games that I'm going to show you that I do play well in this tank. I haven't had any astounding games yet, but this is definitely going to be my go-to. This and the Patriot are going to be my go-to premium tanks for earning silver, because I've got about 4 or 5 tier 10s that I need to get back. But anyway, no worries about that. Let's get into the stats of this beast. So 1,500 hit points puts you around average for the tier. So you're not really going to have many issues there. Obviously, once you do start getting in tier 10s, fighting tier 10 tanks, your armour, it can hold up, but the hit points won't be able to really. You're gonna get one-shotted by Death Stars and stuff like that. You're gonna get two-shotted by the E100 and stuff like that. So just be very careful when you are fighting high tier tanks and tanks, especially like the Borsig with the 15cm. Just be careful because they will be able to take that health away quite quickly. But the armour does help to mitigate that. So 35 kilometers an hour max speed, not bad at all actually. From playing this tank, I've realised that the manoeuvrability is actually quite nice. The terrain resistances aren't that good, but they're not bad, as I said. So once you do get up to that top speed, you're going to be able to hold it, and you won't have much issues really. So quick look into the engine. As we can see, 700 horsepower for a power to weight ratio of 13.59 horsepower per tonne. So as said, the manoeuvrability is not bad at all. This is where the engine is. It's just a block in the back. 15% fire chance as well, which is very nice indeed. Means that you won't get set on fire as often, but it's always best to have firefighting on your crew if you can, and carry a fire extinguisher if possible. Reverse speed at 14 kilometers an hour, not fast. You're not going to be going anywhere in reverse though, so it doesn't really matter. Next, we're going to take a look into this gun, which is quite strange actually. So the 122mm BL-13 gun, as we can see, the rate of fire is awful. 3.87 rounds a minute, which is absolutely awful. You get a very nice penetration of 225 on your standard rounds, and a whopping 440 alpha damage, which is quite strange seeing as the other 122mm guns of the tier have 390 alpha damage. But by getting that alpha damage, you do lose a lot in DPM and rate of fire. Meaning that this tank without crew and stuff like that, the base reload's 15.5 seconds. So just be very careful of that. So you're going to want to use gun rammer, vents, brothers in arms, stuff like that to get that reload down nice and quick. Mine's about 11 to 12 seconds at the moment, so it's still very slow firing, but it's not. Well, the DPM's awful really, but I'd compare it to the Russian T-34. So accuracy 0.47, awful. You don't want to be sniping with this thing, especially with the 3.4 second aiming time, which isn't very good either. Actually, that's bad as well. 0.4 accuracy, but you're going to want to get up nice and close and just use this thing's armour, and just use its monstrous alpha damage to tear away your opponents. So 20 degrees of elevation, very nice. You're not going to have any problems with that really. 6 degrees of depression. Everyone always asks why it's Russian tanks so happy because they have no depression. Might have to try and edit in a little sound effect there. That was quite bad, just ignore I ever said that. But max depression 6 degrees, not bad at all really. You can't fight on ridge lines with it, to be honest though, but it could be worse. It could be like the Chinese tanks with 2 or 3 degrees. So you can't have it both ways, can you really? So the tracks, 28 degrees traverse, not bad at all. Does allow you to get combining it with the turret traverse of 24 degrees, you can spin the turret around quite quickly to get shots off and fight mediums and light tanks trying to circle you. The armour on this thing, as we'll see in a minute as well, is really sloped, so when you are being circled, you will bounce a lot of shots. From light tanks with around 175 penetration, they're going to really struggle to penetrate you. So terrain resistance is 1.2 on hard terrain, not bad. 1.5 on medium terrain, not very good at all really. but it's not atrocious. And 2.3 on soft terrain. Don't go on soft terrain, it is awful. Try not to move on slow terrain, soft terrain, sorry, but it is with every other tank, so it is what it is. 350 meters view range. Again, it's got Russian view range. You're probably gonna want to use coated optics. You're gonna want to use like situational awareness and stuff like that. Just to get that. You're not really gonna be spotting for yourself, to be honest. Sorry if I can speak. You're not really gonna be able to spot for yourself in this thing unless you are using coated optics and stuff like that. But the best way to play this tank is right up in people's faces. As you would do in a heavy tank. So the radio, 730 signal range, no worries there really. As you can see now, your standard rounds are armour piercing, your premium rounds are APCR, and you obviously have your high explosive rounds. So 225 penetration on your armour piercing rounds with 1,000 meters shell velocity. You have 265 penetration on your APCR rounds with 265 penetration with 1,250 meters shell velocity. So the shell velocity is a bit slower for an APCR shell, but it's still not bad. And the APCR shells, just be careful because obviously they do normalise at longer range and stuff like that. So just be careful of that. At far range, the penetration will drop off significantly quicker than it would with a heat shell. So high explosive, you have quite a lot of penetration actually on the high explosive rounds. 68 penetration. So if you do come across something very nice and lightly armoured, slap them. And you're going to be doing around 530 average damage with this monstrous gun. So looking more into the armour of the tank, as we can see, the upper plate 130mm, lower plate 120mm, front of the turret 250mm. So going to take a quick look and I'll explain to you all about it. So one's 20mm on the track, 21's 30mm, as we can see here on the engine deck. It is fairly vulnerable to artillery fire, especially as it is a new tank. If you are going to pick one up, just be careful. Every tank is out to kill you, so just be very, very careful. 31 to 50mm on the bottom parts of the sides there, and the gun. 51 to 70mm on the top of the turret, which is very good news, means it can't be overmatched unless it's a stupidly monstrous gun. But apart from that, you're not really going to get overmatched unless they're firing down on you like that. But if they've got an angle on you like that, you're doing something wrong. So 71 to 90mm on the top of the turret roof there, and the bottom of the gun mantlet and the back of the tank. I've had countless moments in this thing where tanks bounce off the back when you just come around a corner and things just ricochet off the bum. And as I said, it does make it very tricky for light tanks and stuff trying to circle you. If they lock on, they're around this angle, it's just going to hit the back of the tank really, and just ricochet off. Obviously if you are flat facing like that, but when you are, just keep trying to wiggle around and they'll have a tough time penetrating you while circling you. Then we have 91 to 120mm on the sides of the tank and the back of the turret. As we can see, it is very well sloped, so you can actually side scope in this tank. It doesn't have the weak spot that the IS-3 and the IS-7 can have. Obviously it does make it a little bit flatter, but just look at the angling on it. For anything facing it dead on, it's going to be an auto bounce. The upper plate's effective armour is around 290 to 310mm of effective armour from the front upper plate, which just makes this tank incredible at face hugging. And obviously the turret, look at the sloping on that as well, 250mm, good luck penetrating it. So the lower plate, however, is a different story. But the cupolas, 150mm, as you can see, and they are flat, so if you can hit the cupolas, hit the cupolas. But the lower plate, if you're facing it dead on, its armour value is around 205 to 215mm. You're going to need to go through the lower plate. When you are top tier, you can kind of angle at an angle like this, making your upper hull and stuff still very, very strong, your side armour and auto bounce. And the lower plate is going to be around 235 to 240mm of penetration. Will be needed to go through the lower plate if it's angling like this. So if you are top tier, even tier 8s aren't really going to be able to penetrate you unless it's the 12-8s. Are going to have a really hard time penetrating you unless they're firing premium rounds. So you should be all good. So overall, the armour on this thing is absolutely amazing. If you know how to play the IS-3 and you've played the IS-7 like I have, you will know how to use this thing's armour effectively. You can see that the lower plate is very, very big indeed, so at all costs try and hide it. And if you are fighting one of these things, lower plate if you can, or the cupolas. And to be honest, frankly, that's the only chope you've got. The only hope you have in penetrating this tank frontally, the lower plate, the cupolas. If you can't, there's nothing you can do. You just got to try and track it and get around its side. So here's where the ammo rack is, guys. If you're looking to shoot the ammo rack as well, I just thought I'd point that out before we show you some gameplay of this bad boy. So overall, armor fantastic, maneuverability not too bad at all, gun amazing, the damage per minute awful, accuracy awful, but the gun damage and the pen's very nice as well. Speed not bad, as I said. Armor good. Equipment, you're going to want to use a gun laying drive to get that aiming time down, gun rammer, and actually I'm going to put a vertical stabilizer just to help the accuracy and stuff like that while traversing. Equipment, consumables, sorry. I carry a manual fire extinguisher, small first aid kit, a small repair kit. Carry 21 AP rounds, 7 APCR rounds, and 2 high explosive rounds. So, anyway, guys, I hope that is enough for the garage review. We're going to come back when we have some gameplay for you. Alright, guys, so we are back for our first replay of the game. The map is Overlord. I'm platooned up with my good friends Bailey and Daz. Bailey in the Fatherland and Daz in the ISU 130, which was the most recent op tank. So this is the first time Bailey saw it, so you wanted to have a quick look. You do get some quite funny looks when you are in this thing, just because it is so new, and people do try and kill you. I had someone rush out in the tier 10 game. A tier 10 tank just rushed me straight away and just shot me once and then died just because he wanted to kill me. So well done, mate. But this tank, as you can see now, the manoeuvrability is not bad. As you can see, we're keeping up with the Fatherland, another premium tier 8 Soviet heavy tank. For you the guys on PC, if anyone on PC is watching this, that is obviously the IS-3A, the IS-3 Auto, just with the special Fatherland paint job on it, which was actually an Armour award tank as well. So you can see now what the armour of this tank's like. You can see it's a very, very weird shape towards the back. It's definitely like an IS-7 or an IS-5's hull. So we're pushing up to this position. As you can see, the other defender here, I completely forgot there. Managed to take a massive shot there through our lower plate, which was a very bad play from me, which is unfortunate. But we're going to try and sneak a shot into this T-43 quick. And yeah, 800 and something damage done with a shot there, ammo racked in. But that wasn't worth it, because now I've just lost half my health. As I was talking about the hit points and stuff like that, you can take a few, but you can't, especially from the defender and stuff like that, you can't take hits. You can see that we ricochet 2 shots off of the beak of the tank. Nothing's going to penetrate that. But the lower plate on this thing is very, very big, and that's where we've been penned twice now, straight through the lower plate. So I can see now that there's some tanks in the middle, in this kind of little basin area, so I'm going to try and push up and use the 6 degrees of gun depression to try and shoot the tanks in here. So aiming for a shot on the Carnarvon, can't see him really, so aim for the T-34-85, take him out, 399 damage done to him. And now we just need to try and get this Carnarvon. So as you can see now, the DPM of this tank is awful. Even with my crew and stuff like that, it's still bad. But there's not much you can do about it really. But as you can see there, the monstrous alpha damage, 443 damage done then. So that shot from when we shot the Carnarvon there. So a very, very nice meaty chunk. Are we going to be able to take him out? And we managed to take him out. As you can see there, the KV-85 damages our tracks. And it's starting to look very, very bleak on this side of the map. As you can see, there's a whole swarm of tanks there. So we push up, put a monstrous shot into the KV-85 and fall back. I can see all them other tanks starting to get a little bit brave and start to push up. The Tiger 1 pushes round. Bit of a silly move from him, but we managed to just auto aim a shot straight through his upper plate. Not going to have any trouble at all penetrating a Tiger in this thing. So aiming for the IS-3. I try and get a shot there at that weak spot, top of his part. As you can see there, the armour of that defender, the way he's angling, the upper plate is so well angled. Even at pretty much a 45-degree angle, the upper plate is just completely yellow, which means we have like no chance of penetrating it at all. But what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to hide my lower plate behind this dead tank, just so I can just show my upper plate and my turret and stuff like that. Trying to side scrape off it as I showed you before. This is the best way to use the armour on this tank. If it was a bit shorter, I would just obviously stick the turret out. As you can see there, we've got no hope in penetrating him. He bounces off us. T-34 pushes round, and we managed to snap a shot into the T-34 there, taking him out for our 5th kill of the game. So, as we can see now, the IS-3 is pushing over, trying to flank us. He did have the right idea to try and flank us. We do place a shot badly there and do ricochet off him while his pike nose is angled upwards, so there was no hope of us penetrating that really. And now it's just this defender that we want down really. I can't really take very many hits anymore, but we can see now the tanks are starting to push over. The IS-3, snap a shot into him, managed to take him out, so now he is gone. We do eat another monstrous shot there from the defender. That was a bit of poor play, having my turret shown to him, side of my turret, sorry. And as I said, the side of the turrets is around 150mm thick. So frontally it's fine, but when a tank does have your side of your turret, sorry, they're gonna be able to penetrate it pretty much every single time. So I'm waiting for Bailey's at this point. We're talking, and he's saying, "I'll bait the shot for you. I'll take your hit," and then we can push up and rush him because I can't take the hits. Put another shot into him there. Very, very nice hit indeed. So we're just putting a lot of pressure on this defender here. 3 of our tanks here just pushing on him. He's just fired. Are we going to be able to take him out? We do see the T-32, so I decided to switch attention to him instead. Put a nice big shell into the side of the T-32 there. Defender gets taken out, and now it's just the Motherland, the T-32 in this area. So can we pick up the kill on the Motherland? Unfortunately not. What about the T-32? This T-29, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to face hug him, so he can't. I'm trying to tell him to fall back so we can all shoot at him. He does manage to try and get around him, put a nice meaty shell there. Bit of a low roll actually on that shot into the T-32, and that's the game over. We finished with 6 kills, 12 damaging ribbons. So anyway guys, as you can see, we made a huge amount of silver, 163,000 silver, 3,406 XP, 5,156 damage, 2k blocks. We picked up our ace tanker in that game as well, and 5 points towards tank bowl. So as you can see from that first replay guys, how this tank performs, but we'll be back when we have one more replay for you. Alright guys, so we're back for our second replay. The map is Thiepval Ridge. Again, I am platooned up with Bailey and Daz. So, I'm just going to take a moment while we're heading into battle to discuss the prices of of the Patriot and the Defender. So, they are very expensive. I'm not going to lie to you, they are very, very expensive indeed. But that is why I make these videos for you guys, so you can see them and see if you want to pick them up for yourselves. So, the price I got them for, I got them both in the Patriotic Defenders Mega Bundle, which was 21,500 gold. It came with the Patriot, the Defender, some garage slots and stuff like that. There will be Ultimate Bundles that are out today as well. The Patriot one is 13,600 gold, comes with a week of premium, 20 boost stops and a garage slot. And the Defenders one is 14,800. The loaded bundles again are a bit cheaper, but I'm just going to talk about the cheapest price for these tanks. The cheapest the Patriot's going to be is 12,800 gold, and the cheapest the Defender's going to be is 14,000. So if you do want to pick these up, just be warned, they are very expensive, but they are very, very good tanks. And if, to be honest, I would highly recommend them. I would definitely highly recommend you to pick one up. But obviously this is what this review is for. This review is here to help you guys decide whether you want to pick one up or not. But I would definitely recommend both of them. They're both very, very good. But now we're in the gameplay, let's shut up and just watch. So put a nice shell there into the IS-3. As you can see, can we manage to reload in time? As you can see, the bad reload time there doesn't allow us there to pick up the kill. But we see the other IS-3. Yeah, so the tank bowl guys as well. Tank bowl starts today. USA versus USSR. As you can see, a very nice roll there. 506 damage done. So US versus USSR, and the prize for winning is the champion M4 Sherman. So if you guys do want to get your hands on the champion M4 Sherman, to be honest, I think Russia's going to win it. So far, that's why I'm going with Russia, just to get that free Sherman. But there we go, we managed to take out the Leopard prototype. If you guys would like more information on Tank Bowl, please feel free to comment down below, and I'll be happy to respond to your guys' questions and stuff like that. So we ricochet a shot there off the T10. Don't have a clue how that bounced, but it is what it is. But we do manage to take out that Leopard, as we saw as well, and we're just aiming now. Are we going to be able to pick up the kill on this T10? I can see him aiming for a shot there. We managed to take him out. 2 kills already. As you can see, we eat a huge shell there. We eat a massive heat shell from the Type 4 Heavy. You can see me now switching to the APCR rounds. He is trying to flank us. His armour is very, very good, so I'm going to have trouble even penetrating him with the APCR rounds. As you can see, they're aiming for his little side cheek weak spot. Unfortunately, we don't penetrate, we do bounce. Daz is positioned, so I'm trying to bait him around the corner so Daz can get side shots into him. As you can see now, I'm just trying to side script, trying to make my armour as effective as possible. Aim again. Can we pen him this time? Somehow we pen the front of his tank there. Managed to go straight through. So that's one shot him. As you can see there, Daz tries to fire a high explosive shell. Unfortunately, does no damage. Another tank ricochets, aiming for his lower plate. And we penetrate again, 417 damage through his lower plate. And now, I can see the ST1 coming up behind me. So he should have this all under control, really. So I'm going to try and get one more shot into him. Are we going to be able to penetrate? Unfortunately not. So as you can see, I'm just loading back to armour piercing rounds. This ST1 has him covered, so I'm going to turn around and help out Bailey with the ST1, the other defender, and the AMX 5120, which is sat around the corner. Sorry about that, other defender, didn't mean to ram you there. So I'm trying not to get shot in the side from the ST1 there. Managed to make it round. So this defender's hiding himself here. The 5120 is over on the other side. I can see him looking over. He's about to reload. Put a shot into him, but that 5120 has just reloaded. So he's going to have 3 more shells now after he's just fired 1 more into Bailey, which does make me and Bailey killable. So we're just going to try and be a little bit more careful on what we're doing here. So as you can see now, I'm just trying to push up a little bit further so I can kind of get more gun depression. We do eat a shell there from the 5120, leaving us on dangerously low hit points. If that defender does roll high, he is going to be able to pick us off. So we're just going to try and put as wide as we can. 5120 gets taken out, which means that we are now pretty damn safe to be able to push over. So the defender showing us his side here. Snap one into his side, and he gets taken out. So 9 penetrations and 2 kills so far. So now you can see the manoeuvrability over medium terrain as well. It's not too bad at all. So these tanks, I just can't express to you enough how good these things are. If you like to brawl, this is the perfect brawling tank. It's awesome, really. So I do really highly recommend you pick one up yourself if you can. But that's the thing, if you do have 21,000 gold spare, or like 15,000 gold spare, which most people don't, then feel free to pick one up. But I do strongly advise you to pick one up. They are definitely worth the gold, I think. But that's just me. I'm quite the collector. I do like to have quite a lot of I do have a lot of premium tanks, actually. I do have quite a few rare ones. But that's just me. I know some people really don't like spending money on the game, but for me, I do like to collect these kind of things, and I do like to have them looking all pretty in my, even if I don't play them that much, I do like to have them looking pretty in my garage. So I'm just spamming attack in the chat, just to try and obviously get everyone to push right up on these tanks. So we're pushing up on the Patriot. Are we going to be able to take him out? We aim a shot there, the shot goes just high, it hits his upper plate and therefore ricochets. You see there, we used our armour effectively there and managed to ricochet a shot from the Patriot. So we're just going to push up. Another thing I just want to mention as well, from PC I heard that the Object 252, sorry, the Defender was idiot proof. It's not. It's not. The armour's good, but it's not idiot proof. Same as the Patriot. Everyone was saying that the Patriot's overpowered. That it's not. Well, it is in the hands of a good player. As you can see there, bit of good gameplay from me. Put a shot through him and then ram him. But the Patriot, if put in the hands of an unskilled player, really, the Patriot just won't be able to do anything, to be honest. But put it in the hands of a Unicum, put it in the hands of someone who's capable, and the Patriot is very, very overpowered. In many circumstances, it's actually better than the Defender, if put in the right hands. But it's just the Defender, I'd say, is a bit more. How do I say it? It's not idiot proof, but it's definitely easier to get in touch with and to play a little bit better in, just because the armour and stuff like that, it's a bit more forgiving. That's a better way to say it. So we managed to get another shot in there, slide down the hill, managed not to take ourselves out, and that's the end of the game there. So guys, we managed to pick up 121,000 silver, 4,500 damage, sorry, 1,000 damage blocked, and another race tanker badge. So anyway guys, I hope that is enough for the review of the Object 252U Defender. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below for which tank you'd like to see next. Thanks, it's been Error and I'm out.